Hello everybody, my name's Dawn Bonfield and I'm here at King's College London where I am a Professor of Practice in Engineering for Sustainable Development. INWED is a one-day sort of awareness day, one day a year, where we celebrate women engineers. We celebrate women who work in engineering, who have been involved in engineering over the past 100 years, and we look to inspire the next generation of engineers as well. So it's a day that has been used by many people all around the world for all sorts of reasons to celebrate gender diversity in engineering. We have really put the day itself on the map as a mainstream day where we are celebrating and continuing to have some focus on the number of women in engineering. We are in a position now where we find that we're actually not making the improvements that we should be making in terms of gender diversity. So this year we are at 15% women in engineering, whereas last year it was 16%, and that had been growing for the past few years or the past 10 years. So we really have seen a bit of a plateau, and it is important that we continue to make progress in the gender diversity in engineering that we have. But over the past 10 years, I think we have really seen that this conversation around gender diversity in engineering has been mainstreamed. So whereas it used to be only a small number of people, I guess, who often it was women who worked in engineering who were the ones concentrating on the lack of diversity in engineering, now it is becoming one of those things that everybody, that is not ignored on a corporate level at all. So we're all very much more aware of it. One of the things that we have here is, here underneath my feet is a game. So it's a snakes and ladders game. The last 100 years of women in engineering, the history of women in engineering, and you start at 1919, it's the centenary, in fact, of the Women's Engineering Society. So you start at 1919 and it goes up to 2019, and it shows the gains and losses, if you like, that have been made over those 100 years in terms of what we have achieved and some of the setbacks. So at some points you go up the ladders, and at other points you go down very long snakes or drain pipes, in some cases representing the leaky pipeline over there. But yeah, I think we have seen it's like a pendulum that swings one way or another. You make some progress and then sometimes you have a few setbacks. I hope that we are going in the right direction. I think culturally we're all much more aware now of the need for gender diversity in engineering, but just generally for more skills in engineering. And we know we have a massive skills deficit in terms of the skills and resources and the people who can address the Sustainable Development Goals and the huge problems that we are facing as a planet. So we know that we need more people to work in engineering and technology professions, and with only 16% of those being women, we have a lot that we can gain, if you like, by promoting more gender diversity in engineering. Obviously making more progress, getting better representation in engineering, but being in a situation where it's not only the grassroots of the engineering sector who put so much time and effort focusing on trying to increase diversity in engineering. Oftentimes it's women themselves who take a lot of their own career time, if you like, in addressing these issues. It's sometimes to their detriment, actually. And what I would like to see is more resources, really, and more systemic change, which I think is what is needed. I think you can only go so far with women themselves in engineering being the ones to go out into schools and inspire the next generation. I think it will take more than that to make the step change that we're looking for. I think if we continue in the way that we're going now, we will see incremental change, but that's not enough. You know, we have been doing this for a long time now. This floor game represents 100 years. You know, we can't afford to take any more time to get where we need to be, especially with the challenges that we've got today, and more funding and more top level change. What I see, I do quite a lot of outreach work myself, and what I see in terms of families, young women and their parents, is that they don't necessarily have the resources that help them get into engineering careers. And we as an engineering sector don't have that go-to resource, if you like, that careers resource that people can go directly to and say, I'm interested in a career in engineering. How do I go about getting into that career? Because engineering is such a broad discipline that it unless you have that capital, that engineering or science capital in your family, you often don't know how to get access or entry into that engineering career. And so one thing that I think we could easily do is have some sort of career one-stop shop for people where it isn't the default choice. So that is the underrepresented groups in engineering. So where they can go to find out what it is they need to achieve to get into these engineering careers. I think that would help enormously. But there are other incentives that we could be putting in place to support women into engineering, and I think that's where we need to start to focus some attention in the next 10 years.